Hello everybody, Airtime Hale here again. This time I'm doing a review for a coaster out of Carowinds that some of you may have heard of, called Copperhead Strike. It's a Mack Rides multi-launch, Mack or Mock, whatever. Anyway, it opened on March 23rd of this year, 2019. It has a track length of 3,255 feet. It's 82 feet tall, which isn't that tall, but that's not the point. It's a multi-launch. It doesn't need to be tall, and it really focuses more on hang time than, so the height's irrelevant, but it goes 55 or 50 miles an hour, my bad. Features 5 inversions with a duration of 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And the first thing I want to talk about with this coaster is the theming. Any of you that are familiar with Cedar Fair parks know that theming isn't really their game. But at least compared to other Cedar Fair rides, the theming on this is out of this world. I mean, it really fits in with the section of the park that it's in, and as convoluted as the story of it may be, it really gives you the idea of this down south sort of backwoodsy secret moon shining operation, which is part of the story. Some people don't get that. Anyway, theming, like I said, you'll love it. The sign is really good. The last few years, Cedar Fair's been doing that with these grand entrance signs like Banshee, things like that. So that's been really good. The theming has been crazy. So anyway, you board the trains. It's just a lap bar. This was my first Mack Rides multi-launch. I had never ridden a Mack Rides coaster before this, so whole new experience for me, and I gotta say I was very happy with it. So you roll out of the station, immediately hit a JoJo roll, which if you watched my review on Hydra the Revenge from Dorney Park, then I'd speak about that JoJo roll. This one puts that one to shame, because the one on Hydra, that is a floorless B&M, and it has those old school B&M over the shoulders, so you do get hang time, but it's not too wild. With this, just having the lap bar, that hang time is absolutely freaking bananas. I'm talking Donkey Kong up in this bitch, bananas everywhere. Love it. The hang time was just absolutely incredible. You roll into the barn, and again, the theming is just nuts. All kinds of props everywhere, all kinds of theming, barrels, bags of sugar, pipes, like copper pipes everywhere. And if you know anything about moonshine, that all plays into that theming. And then there's a little video that plays on the wall. I won't give away what's in the video, just in case there's someone watching this that hasn't been to the park to ride this yet. But I'm sure you can find it on another channel. I'm not going to be the dick that ruins it, though. Anyway, you launch out of the station, and I don't go in expecting like top thrill dragster level or anything like that, because I think this launch is more meant to get you up to speed to complete the track layout, which is what it is, because I don't think it really focuses on the speed anyway. I don't think that's the emphasis. I just think from a marketing point of view, you slap multi-launch on it and it will draw a crowd, which you can't blame them. It worked, right? Anyway, launch out of the barn and you go into this first vertical loop, and once again, the hang time, absolutely crazy. I loved it. You know, I think you'll love it too if you're into the more extreme sort of thrill coasters, which, if you followed the videos I've put out so far, I do. So if you're like-minded like me, you'll love that hang time again. Excuse me. You come out of that, and you hit this, immediately go into this ejector hill, and incredible airtime. Once again, this lap bar is just out of this world. I'm hoping I get a chance to ride more Mack rides later, because crazy airtime on that. Excuse me. And then after the ejector hill, you go into the corkscrew. You're going a little bit faster, so you don't really get the hang time on this one, but it is a really fun inversion. Corkscrews, you can't go wrong with it. Plus, this ride's very, very smooth. It's brand new. Um, there were some of the supports that I could see wobbling as it was, going about the thing, but obviously it has to have a little flexibility or else it would just snap. So, still, anyway. You take a right turn and then you enter this kind of banked left-hand turn and you go into a hill. I don't remember particularly getting any airtime, but maybe it's because I'm a bigger guy. I wasn't crammed in there, but I don't have as much wiggle room as like a thinner person might have. Then after that, you hit the second launch, and it's got a hill on it. I think if the launch were going a little bit faster, you may get some airtime, but like I said, this launch isn't anything out of this world, so you might get airtime, you might not. Then you enter this it's an elevated turn. I think this is what RCDB is referring to as the cutback. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I would call it a cutback. Somebody called it a inverted top hat. I really don't consider it that either. I've never ridden Mr. Freeze, but from the videos I've seen, it's like that is what I would call an inverted top hat. Things like King Dakar, Top Thrill, Accelerator, stuff like that is what I would consider a top hat. I've heard people say Steel Vengeance has a top hat. I wouldn't consider that a top hat, but what do I know? I don't build coasters. I could be full of shit. Anyway, whatever it is, you go through it. And then, I gotta flip my notes around. You take this left turn, and then you enter the second vertical loop. A little bit of hang time, but not too much. And then you come out of that. The next element you enter it's pretty neat visually, but when you're going through it, it happens so fast that you don't really realize what's going on. Maybe if I had more rides on it and I could break it down a little bit better, but it's really neat to look at. And what's cool about it is it actually goes through the middle of the first loop, which I meant to mention earlier, but when you're going through the first loop, it's this really cool visual because you get that hang time, so you're kind of looking down, and it almost looks like you could reach out and touch it or something, but obviously you couldn't. But it's just a neat look. And after that, you take a few, like, bank turns, twists and turns, and then you hit the brakes. Like I said, I don't have too much of a frame of reference, because this was my first mock ride, so I can't really compare it to another mock rides. I've ridden several launched coasters, but only one other there's a bunny ears, multi-launch coaster in Maverick, and I don't think you can compare the two, because Maverick is more about like speed and intensity, and it does have the inversions, but Maverick's more about like the snappy transitions, going from one thing to the next. It's a scaled down I-305. This, it focuses more, I think, on the airtime and the hang time, specifically the hang time. So to compare this to something else would be really, really difficult. If I had to, just strictly on the basis of multi-launch coasters, I would have to put Maverick ahead, but this ride is absolutely phenomenal still. Overall, I'd say I'd probably give it an 8. A blast. If you go to Carowinds, one of them you have to get on. Me, I'm a sucker for B&M hypers, so I would say my top 3 at Carowinds are probably Fury 325, Intimidator, and then Copperhead Strike. So, yeah, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm going to strongly work on a better rating system, because I want something better than, I'm going to give it a 10, because everybody does that, and it's kind of old. And I'm trying to do something new, so I want to try to do something clever, maybe something a little funny that gives the idea. So, but like I said, I give it an 8. I think you should definitely ride it if you're in the area. Definitely stop in a Carowinds, and even if you don't like it, then they have plenty of other really good things to ride. Super strong top 3, top 4. Don't forget Afterburn while you're there too. Pretty good being an invert. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit the Facebook page. I'll usually post in different media there. And thank you for tuning in. Be kind to each other. Have a good day.